Listen, you motherfuckers.
We're heading down a street that has no name now.
Listen, you motherfuckers.
We must not allow our nation to crumble.
Listen, you motherfuckers.
This is what they want, to destroy America.
Dude, what can you do? So easy.
From the PA.gov website and has almost 3.1 million entries. I exported all that information into an Excel sheet, but I was cut off at about 1 million rows, so keep in mind we're working with 1/3 of the whole data set. So the first thing I did was create a column to see if any ballots were mailed out by the government the same day that they were received, filled out through the mail by the voter. Turns out about 11,000 were filled out by the voter and returned back to the government the same day the government mailed them out to the voter. I then created a column to see if there were any applications that were approved by the government, mailed out by the government, received by the voter, and then filled out by the voter and mailed back to the government on the same day. And there were 8,205 cases of that. And lastly, I created a column to see if there were any ballots that were received through the mail, filled out before they were even mailed out by the government. There were 7,403 cases of that. Pause the screen to read each definition of the columns. If anyone's able to make sense of these numbers without saying it's fraud, please let me know in the comments.
I drop a 25% tax on China. And you know, I said to somebody that is really the messenger. The messenger is important. I could have one man say, we're going to tax you 25%. And I could say another, listen, you motherfuckers.
Light this bitch up.
Tax you 25%. Now, you said the same exact thing. You said the same exact thing, but it's a different.
We're pushing very hard to think that because of some of the constitutional perils of the Emoluments Clause, because of the popular vote margin, because of fundamentals they think threat to liberal democracy, that electors should be persuaded and pressured on Monday to part with what their pledge is and vote against Donald Trump.
Yes, they absolutely should do that. Absolutely. I believe right now that there are electors. They only need 38 of them who have a conscience or who are worried about a man who won't attend the daily security briefings, who we now know Russia was trying to help get elected. I mean, can you imagine if you or I had been running for office and they showed that the Iranians were somehow involved in helping you or me get elected? What would happen to you or me, Chris? I'm just curious. What would happen?
I think it would be a totally...
Listen, you motherfuckers. Listen, you motherfuckers. Listen, you motherfuckers. Listen, you motherfuckers.
Light this bitch up.
Well, it was some programming error that people who voted early, whether they had, the ones who had applied, but they sent out postcards to everybody in July, and you could say that you either wanted the primary or just the November election, or you wanted both. We got the cards back, we entered the right way, but some people didn't return the card, so theoretically they shouldn't have been in there at all as wanting to have something mailed to them. But if they came in and voted early,
but we begin with the Flynn pardon. The retired Army Lieutenant General was a central figure in the Trump transition in 2016, and his prosecution was key to years of trouble for President Trump. Correspondent Kristen Fisher starts us off tonight from the White House. Good evening, Kristen.
Evening, Mike. Well, we knew that President Trump was planning to do this. We just didn't know when. And about 2 hours ago, he made it official, as he often does. On Twitter, the president said, quote, "It is my great honor to announce that General Michael Flynn has been granted a full pardon. Congratulations to General Flynn and his wonderful family. I know you will now have a truly fantastic Thanksgiving." Flynn pleaded guilty in 2017 to lying to the FBI about his contacts with then Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. It was one of the first major courtroom victories for special counsel Robert Mueller. But about a year ago, Flynn tried to withdraw that guilty plea. His attorneys argued that he'd been entrapped by people like fired FBI agent Peter Strzok. And then this spring, Attorney General Bill Barr tried to have the case against Flynn dismissed. Barr accused Strzok of setting up a perjury trap. It was a charge that Strzok, at the time, dismissed as ludicrous. Well, that request to get the case dismissed was still pending when President Trump granted the full pardon this afternoon. Now, Democrats are furious. Congressman Adam Schiff said in response to, quote, Donald Trump has repeatedly abused the pardon power to reward friends and protect those who covered up for him. This time he pardons Michael Flynn, who lied to hide his dealings with the Russians. It's no surprise that Trump would go out as he came in, crooked to the end. So today's pardon brings to an end a years-long battle for the retired lieutenant general. He was one of the people identified as a potential threat way back in the summer of 2016 when the FBI first opened that counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign, which was codenamed Crossfire Hurricane.
Gavin Newsom, go fuck yourself.